Hey, it's Claire Fisher from the Dead Fictional Girlfriends Research Report, and when I'm not appearing on Jeopardy or analyzing sexism in pop culture, I'm undoing all that smart stuff by listening to Making Fun of MacGyver.
Tonight, MacGyver and Jack Dalton set out to rescue an older Native American man after he's abducted by mercenaries looking for sacred treasure. Hey, can Sam and Jeff find the treasure of actually putting on a good show for once? Find out next on Making Fun of MacGyver. It's Making Fun of MacGyver, a rib-tickling takedown of our favorite 80s adventure show, Valerie's Family. No, it's MacGyver, starring Sam Jordan as the skeptic and Jeffrey Hess as the scientist.
Name's MacGyver.
Welcome, folks, to Making Fun of MacGyver. It's the show where we recap, review, and lovingly ridicule every episode of the original series. It's mac and cheese, legit comfort food for your ears. I'm Sam Jordan, your host, and as usual, I'm joined by my fellow MacGyverite, the real estate agent who only sells homes located on ancient Indian burial grounds, Jeffrey Hess.
Yeah, they are. Oh my God. I'm off to a bad start. Yes, I love that movie. They should remake it if they haven't.
We talking about Poltergeist, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, Poltergeist.
Okay. But there's been many a movie over the decades that the genesis of it is you built something on an ancient Indian burial ground.
Yeah, I mean, in a certain sense, the entire United States is one. So
there you go. Congrats to you for seeing that niche market and knowing people. There's a subsection of people that want to live on ancient Indian burial grounds, and those. So just tell me again, this is the only type of house you list or you sell or you show to people?
Oh yeah, they're pretty hard to find, which actually makes the market very expensive and unique. People spend a lot of money on them because they're hard to find. Which reminds me, I should tell you about my real estate business / TV show idea called Murder Houses Only.
Okay. Jeff, big question time. Are you ready to see more mushing than a tray of overnight oats?
Jihad.
Don't know what that means, but good, because we're moments away from... Oh, is that the turn? Is that the way to make them turn?
I think it means
right?
Stop. That's the only one I remember, though, on the spot.
Okay, I gotcha. Good. We're moments away from Making Fun of MacGyver. It's our 81st episode. It's the 61st episode of MacGyver. It's Season 3, Episode 17, Mask of the Wolf. Killing. But first, it's our opening gambit. So if you're one of our few, but beloved Patreon patrons, you notice we didn't have a monthly hangout session, and we're a little late on the monthly bonus episode. And that is because first I got really sick with a stomach flu or a food poisoning thing last week, and then Jeff had, what did you have, strep throat?
I had strep throat, like I'm a love-struck teenager.
What's the difference between mono and strep throat?
So strep throat is just like a bacterial infection around your tonsils in the back of your throat. Mono suppresses your entire immune system and makes you feel like shit for weeks.
Well, you sound great right now.
Thank you.
But what did
I wonder if I have an extra deepness from the raspiness.
I wouldn't go that far. No, you still sound
I'll tell you what, though,
average-ish.
that medicine, I took it within 3 hours. I could feel it start clearing up. That's miracle shit.
Do you want to put out a plug for them?
Shout out for penicillin. Great work for the last 200 years.
Available at your local CVS.
Yeah.
Well, I was in real rough shape for about 48 hours. Never threw up, but had that fever, chills, doubled over in pain, stomach pains. And at one point, my stomach / chest, because I swear the noises were coming more from the chest and going down. But for about 3 or 4 hours one night, my stomach was making out of this world noises I've never heard. We've all heard your stomach make the
right, because for some godforsaken reason, you sent me audio clips of this.
We've all had your stomach go make a loud noise, or when you're sick, that was loud. But these noises were lasting anywhere from 5 to, I'm not kidding, 10 seconds each. a 10-second, imagine a 10-second, and they were incredibly loud. And they also sounded like, I don't know, it sounded like someone dumping a gallon of water down a sink or something. Like I just felt like, and I swear I could almost feel it going from anyway, I've got the cut here. So now this is all true. None of this is phony. This is my stomach/chest. When I was sick this past week, 2 cuts. You'll hear me document it for posterity for some reason, but this is me laying in bed, 2 a.m., and I'm like, I got to record this because this is insane.
Stomach noises? Never heard this.
It's the long pause where it's like, there's not another one. No, there is another one coming.
Oof. And I'm not even sure if I got the longest, most insane cuts because that was towards the end. I was like, you know what? I got to start recording this.
That's worse the second time because the first time I only listened on my phone. Now I've got like $300 headphones on and I can really feel the resonant depth of that gargle.
Well, despite all that, I fought through to sit at the computer and edit that episode for you people out there. So I hope you appreciate what you got there. We're both on the mend now. We're ready to go. And you know what usually makes your stomach feel better if it's not Pepto-Bismol? Do you know what it is? Take a guess.
80s television.
Nope, it's a viewer mail theme. That viewer mail theme is still shorter than the length of my stomach making those noises. What do you think about it that way? Jeff, we got one email here. And it was sent to makingfunofmacgyver@gmail.com, where anyone is more than welcome to send us a missive and tell us what's on your mind. And but this one takes us to task, Jeff. It comes from Larry B. in Philadelphia, and he writes, while you guys normally do a good job of catching the mistakes, I really think you missed a big one in Season 1, Episode 17, To Be a Man. It's supposed to take place in Afghanistan, but at no point in any of the shots do you see a false Christmas cactus, which is the most common plant in Kabul and many other parts of Afghanistan. And he says that's surely because they filmed in the Agua Dulce area just outside of Los Angeles, where there are no cactuses to be found because the air is too humid given its proximity to the ocean.
Hold on. Listen, Larry, we do a tremendous job covering the most notable production of blunders and continuity errors and fake-looking stunts made on MacGyver. And I'm supposed to be the scientist, and we're here talking about a cactus. I mean, listen, we're talking about a cactus. Not a MacGyverism. Not a MacGyverism. Not a MacGyverism. We're talking about a cactus. Not a MacGyverism. Not the MacGyverisms I spend hours writing about and bringing to every episode like it's my last.
Mm-hmm.
Not a MacGyverism. We're talking about a cactus, man. I mean, how silly is that?
No, you're right, Jeff.
Yeah, we're talking about a cactus. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be catching all these blunders, and I mean, I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. I'm not shoving it aside like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But, man, we're talking about a cactus, man. We're talking about a cactus. We're talking about a cactus, man. I mean, we're talking about a cactus.
This rant could have been brought to you by the NBA. Yes, sponsorship opportunities are available on Making Fun of MacGyver and offer a spectacular return on investments for businesses of all sizes. And don't miss a minute of the exciting action as the NBA Finals heat up this June with the Denver Nuggets taking on the Miami Heat.
Well, that's making fun of MacGyver at gmail.com if you'd like to reach out for us for a sponsorship opportunity, whether the NBA or the Pee Wee League down the street.
DMs are open for gigs. I need the money.
People are still talking about that That Earthquake Toberman from the last time. Oof. Oh my gosh. Jeff, let me take you back now to Monday, March 28th, 1988. The number one movie in the country, finally, goodbye to Good Morning Vietnam, and we got a new one in there, and it's Biloxi Blues, a military comedy drama directed by Mike Nichols, written by Neil Simon, famous playwright, and starring Matthew Broderick and Christopher Walken.
I was just about to say, this is the 80s, and this sounds out of place in time, because it is, because it would have been a play from like decades earlier turned into a movie, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, a group of young recruits go through boot camp during the Second World War in Biloxi, Mississippi, from the play of Neil Simon. And I haven't seen it. I think it does 1 week at the top. It was a really quiet week at the box office.
Well, and hyper niche market. Like if you ever met the people who go to see musicals, also flood to see musical movies, and there would have been that contingent of people who would want to have seen this play at that time.
Not a musical, but yes, totally you would get the people that, I know that play, or I love Neil Simon stuff. Neil Simon, a huge playwright in the 70s and
Definitely.
80s. Now, the number one song in the country is Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. Might be my favorite Michael Jackson song ever. It was written by Glenn Ballard and Sida Garrett. Now, we just talked about Sida Garrett a couple of months ago because she wrote the I Just Can't Stop Loving You, which you sang once. And I don't even remember that song, but she wrote that. Now, she co-wrote, so I just want to give a little high five to Sida Garrett here, because to me, this is a legendary, iconically written song. And Glenn Ballard, don't know if you know the name Glenn Ballard, but he kind of did the music for it, but they get co-writing credits. Glenn Ballard produced the Jagged Little Pill album of Alanis Morissette, one of the biggest album of the 90s, and produced by Quincy Jones. MJ and Quincy Jones produced the song. Those two write it. Released in 88, the fourth single from Michael Jackson's seventh solo album, Bad. Topped the Billboard 100 charts for 2 weeks. His 10th number one single on the chart. In 2009, Time named Man in the Mirror among Jackson's 10 best songs and one of Jackson's most powerful vocals and accessible social statements, not to mention the best ever use of a gospel choir in a pop song. And then in 2017, Shortlists, don't know whatever that site is, but so be it, said the song contained one of the greatest key changes in music history. Comes towards the end where it goes up higher. The videos is a notable departure from Jackson's other videos because he's not really in it till a brief little spot at the end, but it's all these clips of current events and stuff. It featured a montage of footage of various major news events, including starving children in Africa, Hitler, the Nazi Party, Ku Klux Klan, John F. Kennedy is being taken away, Robert Kennedy, MLK, Kent State shootings, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, the Iran hostage
really
crisis.
hitting the highlights.
Yeah, so it's just if this is deep, meaningful stuff of the last 20 years, it's getting in this video. So, and an instrumental version of the song was played at Michael Jackson's at the end of his memorial service in 2009. So, going into this number, what is your take on this song, Man in the Mirror?
I agree. It's a wonderful song. It's very moving. The lyrics are very impactful. I've been affected by them like a lot of people have. So I like that I get to sing it. I'm a little intimidated by it because I'm going to admit it. I'll have to drop an octave before we get to the high part because I can't even get anywhere close to it. But it's a great song, and I'm glad that it hit number one at least once. I
remember being a teenager, my first job in a movie theater, and my dad driving me to my shift, my 4 or 5 hour shift at the theater. And somehow we're talking about something that must have had something to do with, my integrity or something. And he's like, it's just like that song. It's like the song, Man in the Mirror, make that change with the person in the mirror. And he was being a little corny, a little tongue in cheek by referencing it, but I probably hadn't even thought about the lyrics. But it's really clever and deep, Man in the Mirror, just that phraseology, right? And it's a different way of saying yourself. But when you want to, what's the lyric? So if you want to see the change.
Hold on. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Not make the change, make a change.
Make a change. I mean, it's deep stuff.
Yeah, no, it's great. The lyrics are brilliant.
Spectacular song. And yet we got Jeff Hess about to sing it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. In advance.
It's beautiful, tear-inducing song, but good luck, Jeff.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and one man's soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have ever been clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself, then make a change. Woo, I got high. Woo.
All right, good job.
What a song.
Yeah. I was getting tears in my eyes just, for no reason. Like, it's one of those songs to me. I mean, not right now. I meant earlier in the day. I'm sorry, I meant earlier in the day. Not just now.
I mean, now. I got I'm pouring. I look like an anime schoolgirl.
Oh, good job. And it's not going to be up there in time again for me to come around and do it again. Yeah. So.
Well, hey, you threw me the tune at the end of the last one. You can always pick it up yourself. Right. But you get to those high notes, and I mean, I don't think I can get it regularly. I definitely can't get it off a strep throat.
Yeah, let's blame the strep throat for sure.
I'm like, who am I to be blind? And one man soul.
All right, so it's Monday, March 28th, 1988. Boy, we were almost like in sync. Well, at one point we were in sync with the calendar from 88, and then things just got sidetracked. So now we're 2 months behind, but that's okay. That's okay. 2 months is still not bad. It's 8:00 that night on ABC, and it's MacGyver Season 3, Episode 17, The Mask of the Wolf. And now I hand over the reins of the show to the next level of MacGyver narrators, the gentleman Jeffrey Hess.
So we are going to immediately be testing your Jack Dalton is +1 to every episode theory because this is a Jack Dalton episode.
Some people spend their lives trying to move up in the world. My friend Jack Dalton was at the top of that list. A dreamer who wakes up every morning with a new idea that'll rocket him to the top of the economic ladder. The trouble is, because he was always in such a big hurry to get there, he'd take the kind of shortcuts that would drop him a rung lower. Living in this neighborhood was the result of his last shortcut.
Two Eagles! Hey, Kimasabi, how you doing? You know my good buddy MacGyver? What are you doing sitting out here?
I was mugged.
So, right off the bat, we meet the main characters of the whole episode. It's Jack and Mac, who you already know, and they meet an older Native American man who is called Two Eagles, who's staying at a boarding house where poor broke Jack is staying because he keeps making himself poor. Inside, Jack has breakfast.
And he says, I'm laughing because he said he was mugged. I just think that's a funny way to introduce the character. This old man sitting on the steps. Hey, what's wrong with you? I was mugged. Okay, here we go.
Do you not feel instant sympathy for him?
I do.
Even in this decrepit state, people are mean to him and stuff.
So I got a question though. I called him a Native American, but then I think it was IMDb called him an Inuit. INUIT.
Mm-hmm.
So
aren't those like Alaskan people?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I think so. But would you be a Native American if you were? Remember, they don't tell you where they are, right? Like this whole season, they're not even telling you that MacGyver is in Vancouver. It's just generic houseboat, right? No one has ever said Mac, right? But they kind of told you he was in LA previously, right? Or did they never even say he was in LA?
No, I mean it was unavoidable to let you know you were in LA because his apartment was on Venice Beach,
right?
And that is like a setting. But I think from the context of all that's going on, everyone who's watching this would have interpreted him as generally Native American,
right? Yeah.
So I'm just going to call him Two Eagles, though.
Two Eagles, yeah. Which is there was only one eagle in the episode Eagles, correct? Or were there two? No, there were two.
How many Eagles are in the band Eagles?
5 or 6. So there might be down to 4. Well, Mike just saw them in concert.
There's actually birds that play that music?
I believe the tambourine is played by a golden eagle. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh, a golden eagle.
Yes. Well,
Those
isn't
are
that
the
the one
worst kind. Those are the worst
they
kind.
They throw the goats.
Oh my
throw the goats
gosh.
off the cliff.
No, I don't. I like this band even less.
What about
That one song that everyone plays? That's bad enough.
Hotel California?
Yes.
Now, is that on an Indian burial ground? If so, can you turn it into an Airbnb?
I don't see why we couldn't, but the problem is you can't get the people out to get new people in.
No.
So there's no turnover. You need to be able to like flip the unit.
Okay, so Jack is talking to two eagles, correct?
Yes. And Two Eagles is really upset about the loss of his people. And it leads him to a flashback about his past. And
Oh, no.
he asks Jack to take him somewhere special to find the wolf mask of his people, to visit a place of sacred importance that his grandfather told him about. And that his people are almost extinct, and he feels a need to recover this wolf mask.
I got to say, with the speed that they went into the flashback in this episode after they just abused it last time with Earthquake, I was like, are you kidding me? You're introducing a new character and giving that character flashbacks?
Yeah,
That's a little strange for me.
I had the same thought. It popped up, and I was like, "Oh, this is not more flashbacks, is it?" Because I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to be upset for laughing at the flashbacks from the last one. I can't keep it going.
And I just started the show off by laughing at the guy saying he's mugged. This is like an 80-year-old Native American guy. He's bleeding, and he says, "I'm mugged," and I'm laughing at it, and I'm not feeling good about myself, and I'm blaming the MacGyver producers.
The pregnant lady in season 2 was more entertaining than this guy. Anyway, so Jack, of course, goes running to Mac for help, who's oiling his skis. And Mac is refusing to help until he finds out that it's an elderly Native American man who's in trouble. And of course, he can't help himself. So they all go to the library.
I gotta just say something that Mac is like, no. I've been working round the clock for 2 months. I need time off.
He has a reservation at a resort.
I'm going skiing. Mac, do you remember just a few months ago, you were caught in a goddamn avalanche while skiing? You were almost killed in an avalanche, and to take some time off now, you're going to go skiing. Come on, writers.
The man loves his skiing. He does get to do a little bit of winter sports, but we'll get to that. So of course they go to the library to find out more about this, and that's where they find research about the mystical power of this mask to the native people there, and two tough-looking jerks overhear them.
Because that is always where local toughs, if you're looking for the baddest asses in your neighborhood, go to your local library.
I've shaken out many a pocket there myself.
That's why I'm surprised you let Siobhan, your wife, take that job at the library, because it's just a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Oh yeah, watch out, folks. If you go to the library, I'm just saying, pack heat.
This guy lives in Florida, so they probably do that. So back at the boarding house, Jack and Two Eagles are developing a plan when Grant and Perry, the two toughs we saw at the library, bust in. They knock out Jack. They steal Two Rivers and his map staff that is supposed to take him to where the cave is that holds the wolf mask. And that is the end of Axminster 1.
Once again, so the plot of this one will be Mac's bad accidental fortune, right? Oh no, these thugs overheard a plot about treasure. Darn it, Mac.
Dude, I made the reference to the pregnant woman earlier. He was just taking his car to get washed, and a pregnant woman comes and needs his help. This guy's got the worst luck.
What I would love for us to do at some point, because not only do we make fun of the show, but unlike any other MacGyver podcast, I'm quite sure we get into the weeds with numbers and stats. But this would be awesome if we did a complete breakdown of every adventure or conflict that MacGyver encountered, and what was it, a foreign power? Was it a foreign dictator here, right? Was it an overheard? Was it a miscommunication, right? Or did Mac just get caught up? Was he the everyman? I would love to see the percentages on the plots, and because there's really only about 3 to 6 types of ways MacGyver finds conflict, and this accidental whoops, I stumbled into this, right? But it's also being combined with the Jack thing, which is one of the 6 ways.
Well, but I mean that brings up questions about Jack's whole luck, because any one of these experiments would be a legendary story for your lifetime. And these guys have 10 apiece.
I did like that Jack, as he was talking to Two Eagles, told him reference something that happened earlier in this season. I can't remember what it was, but he's like, "Hey, did everybody tell me about the time? Was it the prison? It was the prison thing."
Yes,
we
was talking
broke into
about
a prison to find them.
Yes,
right.
He was, and they blow up and that's the episode where Pedro dies.
Oh, not Pedro. What's his name? Pepe. Come on, Pepe.
Yeah, it's the episode where Pepe. He was shot by the stupid Zamarla. Yeah, I can't believe you don't remember it. But yes, he does tell that story from that prior episode, which is, I don't know if they told him just to make it up and that's what he did, or they wrote it for him, but that's very clever, I thought. Anyway, are you ready for Axminster 2?
Very ready.
Okay, so Mac and Jack are in hot pursuit. Two Rivers kind of told him where they were going to go.
No, Two Eagles. Now, wait a second.
Two Eagles.
Now, Two Eagles. Okay, you don't confuse me there. Because they do cross over Two Rivers with Two Eagles.
And later there are two trees. They follow. They're in hot pursuit. Ahead of them, Grant and Perry continue to harass Two Eagles. And they say there's nothing you can do to stop our evil plan, which is wonderful. Driving there, Jack nearly falls asleep and crashes, but they do manage to make it. At the reservation, the two toughs demand that Two Eagles serve them, and he's trying to plead with Perry, who's the Native American-looking tough that's with him,
right,
to not turn his back on his people. And
you got one white guy who's obviously the easy foil here, right? The bad white guy. But then he's also got the Native American who's turned on his people.
Yes.
As his sidekick.
And as we find out later, they've been stealing together for years. But Two Eagles is making a passioned plea.
Don't be a fool, old man. The mask is just another piece of wood.
Mask of Ilocom is symbol of Kakwani. Your people, too.
Ilocom. My father used to talk about it. He thought if he worked a hard, clean life, the wolf spirit would reward him, like the tooth fairy.
Your father was a wise man.
My father was a fool, like you. He followed the trap lines till he died in his tracks out here. That's not gonna happen to me. I work for Grant. I drive a Camaro.
Bad trade for your soul.
Oh,
zing!
Two Eagles burn. Dude. Got him.
You got him.
I get the appeal of the Camaro, though. Like, it's tempting.
Yeah, you just bought that damn car when you really didn't need it at 30.
That's all I think about.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't have much luck with Perry at this point, but he's working on him. And so they take off, and Two Eagles sneakily takes his necklace off, this distinctive necklace he had on, and hangs it on a tree as a way to indicating that's the way that they went. So Jack and Mac pull up to where the Perry and Grant left their truck, and they do see that necklace, and they follow along the way. Further ahead, Two Eagles uncovers a circle of totems, but they've fallen over, and he uncovers them as a wolf watches them and says he knows the way forward. Meanwhile, Jack and Mac come upon a trapper supply store, and they meet a woman inside who has helped them out, and she's of the Kakwani people, and that's kind of like her reservation. And they show her Two Eagles necklace that they picked up further down the trail, and she offers to help.
We don't see many people up here this time of year, unless they're poachers after the trap lines.
Well, we were kind of hoping you might know where the old Ilocom worship grounds are.
What for?
A friend of ours, Jamie Two Eagles, he's in trouble. We found his necklace on the trail.
Yes, Two Eagles. He's of our tribe. I met him when I was a young girl.
Well, we've been tracking these guys, but it's kind of a slow go on foot.
They're after the Mask of Ilocom. You ever heard of it?
Yes. It's part of my tribe's legends. The great wolf spirit is sacred to my people. And if the mask is for real, it belongs to us.
Not if these guys get there first. We were sort of hoping you might have a snowmobile for rent.
No, but I have something just about as good.
So this woman's name is Anna Lightfoot, and she runs this trapping outpost up here. And what she gives him is a dog sled.
Pack of huskies.
A whole pack of dogs.
Yeah.
And Mac knows how to mush. Not she doesn't teach him. He steps up and he's like, "Oh yeah, these are the commands to drive the dog sled."
On Dasher, on Dancer, and
yeah, he knows the whole thing. And she's like, "Oh yeah, whatever. You know, if you have trouble, just let them go. They'll come home." I mean, that part's probably true.
So now we've got how many dogs do you think there were? Were there 6 or 8?
Let's say 6 of them.
No, because we got 2 eagles, we got 6 dogs.
Yes.
A lot of trees.
Yes. Meanwhile, Perry, Grant, and 2 eagles are finding their way there, and they're just continuing to bicker, and he's threatening not to help them, but he still kind of ends up helping them. There's another wolf, and then that's the end of Axminster 2.
Yeah. Halfway through, I don't know. How were you feeling halfway through?
I mean, like, I don't know. I'm so, I think I'm where you're at. It's like, this doesn't feel like it's going to crash, but I'm not really getting any juice out of it.
It's, for me, it was in danger, of boredom zone a little bit, despite the kind of unique setting and the potential for some cool like set pieces and stuff. I don't know. I was just
what this one does have?
Well,
the best music.
Best music?
Yes.
Yeah?
When I listened to it the second time, they have this huge orchestral score for all this stuff.
Okay.
I was hyped.
Okay.
The music more interesting than the episode.
Well, 2 X-Minsters down, 2 or 3 to go. It's a good time for a time capsule commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
It's another unforgettable moment with making fun of MacGyver.
But you can rig dice by shaving them like that. And you guys know what that's called? What kind of dice that's called? A shaved dice.
With a little luck, we can help it out.
I feel like that's what Hawaiians call their snow cones.
Keep listening for more finger quotes, unforgettable moments on Making Fun of MacGyver.
Town exploding.
Mom, I'd rather not talk about it. Hey, I used to change your diapers. Talk. Sometimes I just don't feel fresh, even after I shower. Sounds like it's time for Massengill. Massengill? The only douche with Effectol. I use it.
Massengill with Effectol washes away odor in seconds for confidence that lasts.
I want you to have all the confidence in the world. Thanks, Mom.
Massengill, trusted by more women than any other brand.
We're trying to be mature here, folks. We know we've got women listeners.
My understanding is those things are like really unhealthy and you shouldn't use them.
So normally I get your commercials. Now, I don't get commercials that I know for a fact aired during MacGyver, right? That's impossible. But I get commercials from that year. However, with this recent batch, I've gotten commercials that were airing during soap operas in 1988, aka a totally different audience. They would not advertise Massengill during MacGyver.
Definitely not. Seems out of place. I think you're getting like truck ads.
Oh yeah, you're
maybe
getting
home
beer,
goods stores,
right?
food.
Beer, cars, of course, beer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I said, you know what? Let me mix up the ads a little bit. So I'm gonna do that occasionally, but I just want to grab any kind of ad that was on the air during that time period. So March of '88. But Massengill, now what was it called? Perfectol. Perfectol. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I wouldn't put it up there.
All right, so yeah, that's just a little fan service to our women listeners. If you don't know about this new product out there 35 years ago.
Yeah. All right, so Axminster 3.
Yep.
They enter the cave, Perry, Grant, and Two Rivers. And Two Rivers uses his cool
Two
staff.
Eagles. No, it's Two Eagles.
My gosh, Two Eagles. Now it's in my head. Two Eagles uses his cool staff to like wiggle open this latch and the door.
Wiggle it.
Yeah, the rock rolls away. It's just been there waiting there for decades just for this little jiggle. Been totally fine. As they head down into the cave, they're looking around and Two Eagles lights these braziers that also for some reason light up, even though they've been there for decades. Like, have people been coming in to tend this place? Mm-hmm. Is this not a secret hideaway?
You know, it's just, the episode kind of goes left and it gets weird. And it doesn't seem believable to me. And it's like, what is this? Is this like the second-rate Indiana Jones stunt room kind of thing?
It's funny you should say that. I think it is precisely that. And there's a huge clue about that at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Did you? Oh, surely you caught that.
Wait, a boulder doesn't start following them, does it?
Oh, I guess we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyway, they are fortunate enough that all these braziers still have some kind of fuel in them, and they light it up, and inside it's like this cool, like there are totems everywhere that you would expect, all Native American stuff, and like it's casting shadows, and it's like all these looming animal carvings are all over the place. Mm-hmm. It's very cool looking. I think the sets are pretty good this episode.
Yeah, it's something. They spent a little money, whatever they did. Yeah, there wasn't just, the houseboat and a warehouse. True.
Meanwhile, Jack and Mac are still in hot pursuit on the dogs, and they see the circle of totems, and they get the next clue, and they're headed on their way up there. Inside, they take the mask off, and it turns out that it is a trap. And it releases a kind of a plunger mechanism that starts to shake the whole thing and collapse the building. And Grant, the white guy, manages to stick his knife in there and stop it from going off. So now the knife is holding the trap up as they have the giant
mask?
Wolf mask.
Yeah.
Yep. Two Eagles. Two Eagles does his very best and makes one last old man lunge for that knife and gets wrecked for his problem and gets knocked out. And they basically leave him for dead. Because at this point, they don't know that Jack and Mac are there. And it's fortunate because Jack and Mac have just arrived at that very moment. And they stash the dogs. And they are like, we got to, creep up on these people because that's where the snowmobiles are. And at that very moment, Perry and Grant come out of the cave carrying the wolf mask, and Jack and Mac get to watch them. And Perry, the Native American tough, is starting to have really second doubts about what he's doing here, and he pleads with his boss to maybe they should take the mask back.
Come on, Perry, you're dragging your feet. I got a bad feeling about all of this, Grant. I don't like it.
No, two Eagles.
I still got to be inside.
I think we're looking for trouble, Grant. I think we should take it back.
Take it back? Why? Because of the old man? He's got one foot in the grave anyway. Come on.
It's not just the old man. The spirit of the wolf is part of my people.
Oh, since when? Perry, you and I have been stealing beads and trinkets out of the graves of your people for 3 years, Colonel. You're gonna let a little old legend scare you, are you? Believe me, you're gonna sing a different tune when we get away from all this mumbo-jumbo. I want you to relax. You'll like it all right when you get that money in your hand. Let's get out of here.
Papa got to keep gas in the Camaro.
They also got to be able to afford their library card renewal because that's coming up.
Well, I mean, it paid off. You're making fun of them, but did it not work?
We got to get back to the library and try eavesdrop.
We're here
on
making
more
this
people.
stupid podcast for like 13 people. We should be lurking in libraries.
That's true. Yeah.
So Jack and Mac head inside, and they cut Two Rivers loose, and Mac goes to use his Swiss Army knife.
It's still Eagles. It's still Eagles.
Oh my God, I did not say Rivers, did I?
Oh,
this is awful. I got the yips. Who's that catcher who could never throw again? Two Eagles. They cut him loose, and Mac goes to use the Swiss Army knife that he has on him, and Jack sees the big knife and goes, hey, forget about that, pull this, and he yanks it out, setting the trap off. The whole thing collapses. A giant carved wooden door drops down, and they are trapped inside at the end of Axminster 3.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the mustache, man, he really would not be worth keeping as a friend. Yeah.
I told you, I said at the beginning, this is going to test your theory about the Jack Dalton +1 effect.
Well, wait a second. No, I already previously negated that because
I didn't know if the theory was out the window entirely or if it's just that one episode.
No, for me, I've got 2 of my lower rated episodes both feature Jack. So as much as he's entertaining on screen, to me, it does not always equal a good episode.
Why is MacGyver friends with this guy? Pete's right. Pete tells him to walk away. Anyway, are we ready for Axminster 4?
I'm so excited.
Two Eagles apologizes because he kind of incidentally roped them into all of this, and he's sorry that they are basically going to die in this cave in the mountains. And they're looking at the door, and he's like, there's no way to get out of this. And so Two Eagles starts to pray to, hey, say we got to accept our deaths, and the sooner you do. And he takes this powder that he's been throwing in the fire, and he throws it on there, and it poofs up. Mm-hmm. And that gives Mac an idea, which is going to be our only Does It MacGyver of the episode. But we'll see what he's going to do with that powder in just a minute.
Does it MacGyver?
Later.
Is that
it? No.
Okay.
Yes. Keep the powder in mind because you're going to need it because this is Mac's big idea.
Keep your powder dry.
Yes. Grant and Perry, meanwhile, are on their way, and it's just getting worse. Like, Perry is just getting like more and more convinced that this is the wrong idea.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, the wolf is watching over them. So if you haven't gotten the theme yet, there's like a wolf that they keep showing, and this is like the 5th time. In the cave, it is time to get this door open. So what he does is he gets this, he says it's copper and zinc, and he is going to make an explosion to lift this door. Well, let's talk about the door. Since it's in Vancouver where they're filmed, I'm going to assume this is probably somewhere in the Columbia Mountains nearby, just like in that area. It's called the Columbia Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And up there, the Canadian Park Service says the high elevation trees are spruce, hemlock, and fir. I found a wood calculator that tells me that a cubic foot of that stuff as hardwood weighs between 28 and 33 pounds.
I'm sorry, did you say you found a wood calculator?
Yes.
Okay.
It is very detailed. It can get down below inches into like centimeters and millimeters.
Oh, so
But
I
really,
could use it for personal purposes then.
Yes, you could figure out the weight of whatever wood it is you're trying to weigh, from very large quantities to very small ones.
Yeah, because I find listing, it depends on what you're talking about, but some lengths I like to describe in centimeters because it's a much bigger number than like inches.
I generally feel that about most things because it just sounds more impressive.
Right.
But then like the switch is much sooner because then you go right from millimeters, it's really big, and then you're just back to 1 centimeter.
So what do you suggest?
I would just lie about it.
Okay. Just say it doesn't matter. Like, why are we even talking about
no,
this?
I mean, like, lie about this situation. I didn't look up a wood calculator. Are you out of your mind?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, but I actually did. And so it's 30 pounds. 30 pounds for a square foot of this wood. So it's 10 by 10 foot door, 3,000 pound door. Okay?
Whoa.
That's what he's got to lift with this explosive.
Okay.
And I looked up what copper and zinc does. And it does react with flame, but it makes it flammable, not explosive. I looked up chemistry professors like doing this shit on like the desk on YouTube videos of you can like do it on your desk. And so clever listeners will have picked up that it's flammable and not explosive. It's not even going to do anything. I don't even need to figure out how much force they need to make to lift a 3,000 pound ancient wooden door.
Newtons.
No, I was looking forward to it. I thought I was like, oh man, we have to figure out like how high we're going to get it. Like how much is he going to need?
Mm-hmm.
No, this is flammable. It's not even going to, we can't even begin to work with it. So my regards to two eagles and Jack and Mac and their skeletons that are stuck in that cave that no one will ever find.
How do you see the eating process going there? Now, do Jack and Mac both eat two eagles first? Because you got two eagles. Each one could take an eagle. And that's a fair way to slice it up. Or
well, you got to,
Mac,
two eagles probably self-sacrifices first. And then so it's just, would Jack eat Mac or would Mac eat Jack?
Jack has got much more meat on him.
I think that's just extra fatty padding. Like MacGyver's got more like robust beef.
But I think because all times Jack has screwed Mac over, Jack would probably recognize that, yeah, Mac, go ahead, eat me and survive.
Well, they're going to have to find out in another lifetime. Because in this lifetime, for some reason, that shit works. And so they jam a piece of wood under there. And of course, this wood is starting to go. And they're like, oh no, it's all falling down. And the camera's shaking. Yeah. And everyone tries to dive through. And then Jack drives through and he goes, oh shit, my lucky hat. And he reaches back through and pulls it back through the door. Right. And then it collapses at the last second.
Right.
And that is the reference to Indiana Jones.
How so again?
You don't have memory of him famously tumbling through a door and his fedora is behind him.
Gotcha.
And the door's closing really slow. And
in
he
the first one,
through.
in Raiders of the Lost Ark, in the first one, right?
I believe so. I just watched a whole YouTube video about the legacy of this hat.
Okay.
And like fans' efforts to get perfect recreations and how there's different ones in each one of the movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a new one coming out, and I'm hearing. Is it out already? But I'm hearing bad reviews.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
It's a fifth one. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Harrison Ford wants to buy another plane so he can still finally finish himself off. So Perry and Grant, they go to the trapper store because they need gas. And when they're there, they see Two Eagles' necklace. So they threaten to shoot the trap keeper to get her to help them.
I'll just get a container off the shelf. So, what brings you up this way?
We're just looking for some more libraries.
What is this?
That was going to be my question. The old man said he lost us on the trail. Somebody's got to be tracking us. Those friends of his.
They're in for a big surprise when they get back here, aren't they, lady? Perry, go hide the snowmobile.
Now, Perry and Grant have good luck, or at least they feel like they do. They keep finding things that are helping them along the way. So, Jack and Mac follow in the dog sled where the snowmobile went. And Perry is pleading with Grant and Anna Lightfoot. Anna Lightfoot is pleading with Perry to get Grant to stop. Because at this point, Grant has fully switched, or Perry has already fully switched over to the other side. Back to his native, his cultural side. And we see the dog sled approaching. Dogs are coming around the corner. And there is a silhouette of someone in a snowsuit on it. And Perry tries to stop Grant from shooting it. And Grant turns around and shoots Perry.
Yes.
And then turns around and shoots the figure that's on the dog sled. That is quite obviously a fucking snowman.
Happy birthday!
All the way to the end of the episode, and I'm going to make it explicit just for that, to say a snowman. It's obviously a dummy that's on this thing.
Right.
But that's the end of Axminster 4. They leave it there oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we begin Axminster 5, which is the shortest of the group because the Grant guy goes out to check on it to make sure that he's killed what he's trying to do. Right. And they ambush him, and they're easily able to knock him out and tie him up. And Perry, we find out, will live, but he's full of regret. And Two Eagles walks up with the mask and kind of tells Perry that he's safe, and that's the end of the episode.
I think you're gonna live.
The old man. We left him in a cave. Sorry, old man. You were right.
The Ilcom has returned your soul.
We say we all go back to the library.
That one more wolf howl sound cue in the background in case you didn't get there. I get it with the messaging.
Let's do a little trivia here. The totem poles are shown in Stanley Park. It's in the city of Vancouver, BC, Stanley Park. If we do make this trip next year to Vancouver for the in-person celebration.
So many places.
Gary from Kelowna, BC. We're going to have to pay him to give us the tour around this whole area. In this episode, MacGyver helps Floyd Red Crow Westerman's character, who is named Jamie Two Eagles. Earlier in the MacGyver's 8th episode,
Two Rivers,
entitled Eagles.
No, his name was Two Eagles. I called him Two Rivers that whole time.
Here we go. I got it right here in IMDb. Though Kakwani is a fictional indigenous group of Arctic people, this episode is likely to be set in Alaska due to totem poles being a prop for the fictional Alaskan Native reservation. I mean, it was snowing at one point in this episode. So I think
that's why I went with high altitude trees, because I figured they were somewhere where it was cold.
The sled dogs in this episode were owned by Henry Winkler's second cousin, Gary Winkler. Gary keeps Alaskan Malamute Siberian Huskies on his ranch in Bellingham, Washington, whenever they were not being used for any cinematic or television production. And and one more. This was up my own. I caught this when Mac and Jack jump from the roof to get what was his name, Perry. Mac loses his hat as he's falling down. The next shot, he gets up. He's got the hat already on. So I did notice that little continuity error, but otherwise not too much really to ridicule. But we'll find out because we've rated and we've recapped and we've ridiculed. But now let's review. What's this one called again? The Mask of the Wolf, right? The Mask of the Wolf.
Yes, The Mask of the Wolf.
Chilling.
Name's MacGyver.
As you can tell, as we've been talking, none of us really enthralled by it. But it's not crap. It's not crap on a stick. I appreciate the different setting. And yeah, there were some cool set pieces there. Lame villains. Come on, guys. Overheard in a library. Come on, get out of here. I like the woman there. The woman was kind of cool, helping them out. There was a really good shot of Jack and Mac sledding, and it was a moving shot. They had a car going and tracking them, so that was a cool shot. I appreciate that they actually did that. They actually mushed.
Yeah, I should have called that out in the episode recap. I'm sorry that I didn't. You see Richard Dean Anderson dog sledding.
Yeah, that's a point.
That's kind of a big thing.
That's a full point in my book.
Oh yeah.
What else? But not a lot of, for me, not a lot of drama, not a lot of tension. Really not much to make fun of, but the main thing is it very memorable? I didn't find it very memorable. But because of those nice little extras, I appreciate the old man there. Did a good job. Cool, like with some lore, even if it's not real. That's why I got 5. I got 5 mullets here.
That's all fair stuff. I think that's all fair stuff. Like on the memorability scale, you will remember that they had the Native American episode.
Unless they bring more, and they might bring more. They might do it better than this.
That's not out of the question. But it's just, it's fine. Like, it's unremarkable. I don't think I would watch. Out of this season, it's definitely not one I would recommend. I think the plot's interesting. I thought the music was really terrific. I thought they did a great job with the settings and the action. Like the actual dog sledding is really badass. And it was all very good, but it was all very just kind of there. Mm-hmm. And I think like the Two Eagles guy kind of brings it down. Like he brings the whole vibe down.
One eagle would have been better. Like 2 is overdoing it.
Yeah, they overdid it on the Eagles. But I'm not gonna shit on it because it wasn't a bad episode. Yeah. So I will also give it 5 mullets. I think 5 is a good number. This is a 5 mullet affair.
So I give 5. You give 5. Add it up. Divide by 2. What does it give us, Jeff?
This one's rated 5 out of 10 mullets.
All right. So it comes out to a 5. Let's crunch the numbers. So how did Mac do on MacGyverisms, Jeff?
0 for 1. Died in the cave.
Okay. And how many times did someone say MacGyver?
Damn, dude, I don't even have a clue. I'm totally guessing here. We're going to go with 31.
Well, it's funny because last episode, I believe you said 21, and the correct answer was 4. And I don't think you had ever been off by 7. Well, you might have been off by 17.
Am I off by more this time?
And this time you said 31?
Yes.
And once again, the answer is 4.
4. It's so in my head. I'm hearing mythical. I think it's because when I see him, I assume someone said his name.
So you were off by 27 guesses.
Yeah.
So here's
it was close.
Here's the hint I should have given. You got to remember, when Jack Dalton is in the episode, he's constantly calling him Mac.
That's right.
He just calls him Mac. So
that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Because also when he's in the episode, he fires off the Macs like it's like he's
there's
going
tons of Macs, but we don't
like
count
this.
that as MacGyver mentioned. That's the thing.
He's slinging hotcakes and Macs.
Yep. So I think you being off by 27, we'll call that your biggest miss ever.
Do you keep track of my guesses and my
No,
and
I
the reels,
don't.
or just...
I don't.
Okay, thank God.
That one's tempting.
So I can deny that I was ever wrong.
How about the most make fun ofable moment? What was the silliest, just lamest thing in this episode?
Is it the dummy? I'll ride this dog sled dummy.
I kind of enjoyed that for a minute, but is it the fact that the goons just are in the library?
Find out where they sit and lurk in the library. It cuts over to them and they're just like, and they go beat up an old man.
Yeah. We've been stealing Native American trinkets for the past 3 years. Like, okay, you proud of that? Jesus, man. Get a conscience. Get a soul. We'll just call it the dummy on the sled there. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, rip Frosty.
So that will do it. Any other final thoughts from you, my friend?
We are 3 episodes away from the end of the season.
Yeah. And I can feel it. Can you feel it? I mean, like, I'm ready. I'm ready to wrap this
Yeah.
one up. As good
What
as it's
also
been.
reminds me, like, I have a lot of prep to do for the summer.
We got big things coming out there, people.
We do. We've been working on stuff for literal months. People think we just do this at the last minute.
I know what it's like to get in the groove of you just want to hear the MacGyver episode that you can watch on Paramount Plus or on your DVD collection. I get that, totally get that. But hopefully you also get that we enjoy breaks from the recaps and getting to flex other creative muscles. And that is coming your way in, a couple of months. It might not last as long as last summer's summer refresh because we were already going further into this summer than we did last year. But we got some fun things coming up, so stay tuned for that. Jeff, what do you say we thank our Patreon patrons? Bo in Florida, great friend of the show. He's a trained CNC machinist, and he's a keeper of duct tape in the vehicle because sometimes, emergencies happen.
And also to Claire in New Jersey, who wonders, how is it that MacGyver can defuse bombs with paper clips and save Native American men from caves, but can't keep a girlfriend alive for more than 2 episodes? Go to deadfictionalgirlfriendreport.com for the answers to that and more.
Thank you to Christian in Norway. He said he was looking forward to that spoilers episode last week, which Jeff wound up loving. Hopefully you enjoyed that one, Christian. Thank you for your support, as always.
And Simon in Habbo, Sweden, who thinks Trumbo's World is the best episode of MacGyver ever.
Hey, we're always looking for new friends, so feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, while we last there. makingfunofmacgyver@gmail.com. Leave a message on the hotline, 904-419-3310. And if you want to throw something in the tip jar and get the perks that come with it, it's patreon.com/makingfunofmacgyver. But above all else, all we really ask is that you keep coming back because we are going to keep making fun of MacGyver. So for Jeff, I'm Sam, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
The great wolf spirit is sacred to my people. And if the mask is for real, it belongs to us.
Not if these guys get there first. We were sort of hoping you might have a snowmobile for rent.
No, but I have something just about as good.